Buongiorno. Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome. Je ne sais pas. I don't know much French, but I do know one thing. I'm TurboTabs. I'm here on Essentials.tf, and I'm joined with my mon frères here in the caster booth. I've got not Stephen with me. I've got Samus pressing the buttons, and we're here today because we're going to do some NTF2CL. That's a lot of letters saying in one go. If you're living under a rock, that is the French mixed group kind of fun tournament where they get as many French people as they can gather, punch them all together into a kind of league where they have a captain system. They pick off and they draft off a team, and then all these teams fight off against one another. They've already gone through a day of this, playing against one another in a round robin style format, and now that we've made it to the lower bracket final and Essentials TF has taken notice, we're going to cover some of their actions here. But before we do that, before we get into any of that, let me introduce my fellow co-casters. Not Stephen. Are you there, sir? Do you know any French?
No. I'm not going to lie. This whole casting booth feels like the bad start to a joke that involves a pub. Two Brits and a German casting a French cup. What can go wrong? Absolutely everything. And I am ever looking forward to it, Turbo.
Yeah, it should be good. These affairs are very, very difficult, I would say, to kind of get invested in, because obviously they're a draft pick. They have all these sorts of players kind of mixed into a bottle. But I've got an angle for you here, not Stephen. Today, you are looking at the players of tomorrow. These are where you get to kind of highlight some of these French players that you don't really get to see because they're hanging about in those lower divs and whatnot. But now they're going to be playing off against one another, and you might be made a new fan of some of these player names. So that's got to be exciting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this format really gives some good experience as well to some of these newer players. You get to play against and with some of the best. So, a lot to learn through a lot of games this weekend. I'm sure it's a crash course for some of these players. I'm sure it's great experience for some of those up and comers. So, always excited to see those good players. And one of the good things about having a draft cup here that makes things always more interesting is you're not always going to see these players on their main classes, right? You're going to see them on some funny, goofy off classes a little bit of the time. So it's not always going to be as much of a role as you may think it is. And then, and you kind of get to allow those players who may not have as much experience to play their main classes and try to excel here. But looks like we have the map veto here for Suijin Tonic and Jarate Kids, the teams we're going to be watching in tonight's game, Turbo.
Yeah, you're 100% right. If you just want to keep it short and keep it simple, they're getting rid of all those cough picks, as because of the nature of this tournament as well. They actually had a little rule that was saying, no sniper on cough. We are keeping it cookie cutter here, and we don't want to get into some sniper lore just kind of having a fun time where all the other players are not. So, but we don't have to deal with that, it seems. We have just got a nice game of process, snake water, and then some shine if it comes down to it. Because this is going to be a best of 3. This is a playoff section, need I remind you, not Stephen. They had a full day of playing little kind of round-robin games against one another, but now they actually get to invoke those picks and bans and see who is the better one. And what a better time to introduce our two teams we're going to be covering tonight in this lower bracket final is going to be Suijin Tonic and Jarate Kid. Sorry, I'm just not. I like one drink. I definitely don't want to drink the other.
I think that's fair to say that you do not want to drink the Jarate Kid's drink of choice.
Yeah, I've never liked Suijin Tonic. Oh right. Oh yeah. I love Suijin. Yes, that's what I meant. Okay. Anyway, these two team lineups on both of them. Suijin Tonic is containing Moolah, Deli, Spongy, Coline, Monkey, and Mingo. And over on the Jarate Kid, we have, oh boy, we're going to mess up some names here. Cibola, Sosok, Amarok, Alien, Dodo, and Isaac. Yeah, I didn't do too bad.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad at all. I think we're going to get it much worse throughout this cast. So yeah, for any French people watching this back or watching with us, I'm so sorry. I'm so English. I'm going to get your pronunciation so wrong during this game.
I know, it's a sad state of affairs. Now, I bet you were kind of wondering, Turbo, you left out all the classes there. You're right, because I don't know who's playing what. These teams aren't kind of bound to a class. I think they had to kind of decide in the mix of drafting, maybe even like playing So in theory, I don't think they are bound to having to play a certain class just by skill difference alone. Somebody just feels like I can't hit that process rollout. Why not just rotate some people around and all that? But I doubt at this stage of the tournament they're going to be making much switches. But I'm just letting you know, Stephen, it is possible.
Yeah, I think we have seen them play pretty much the classes we see in the server, at least for Suijin Tonic. I see now. I had a little look at the logs before the game, and it seems like these are the classes they were playing. So it was, Mingo and Mula on Scout. So obviously Mula known as one of the better medics in NTF2CL, but no, he's switching over to the Scout, and he's going to be joined by Deli and Coline. Deli, obviously known for his demo man in Prem, but he's up on the Soldier today. And then Coline, a name I haven't seen for a while, but was around that Div 1, Div 2 scene for a while. So good to see them back. And then finishing up with Spongy on demo and then Monkey on medics. Players I'm not too familiar with, so we'll see how they perform tonight.
All right, I'm going to level with you, Stephen. This is not going to be the highest class of TF2 you've ever seen. Obviously, the Prem circuit is not completely dominated with French, although they are on their way, I'm not going to lie, but there are going to be some ones that have slipped through the cracks of that Prem bracket. So that means there's going to be a couple of slip-ups. Maybe everyone's not going to be on the same page. Do you think there's a certain strategy that shines in TF2 like this? Do you think it's just all about that DM, or do you think maybe you're looking towards those big brain callers on these two teams?
Yeah, I think it's super advantageous to have a strong pocket scout on here, and it looks like we're going to have Amarok on that for at least the Jarate, the side of the Jarates here. So having that main call, having that strong pocket scout could be really good as long as you can keep your medic alive, right? And then sometimes it's just all about those all-star roamers going absolutely crazy here. There's definitely a lot of creativity and a lot of expression you can make, especially on this map of CP process. But we are going live here with our first map of the NTF2CL lower bracket upper final. This is to go into that grand finals match. So why don't you take us away here, Turbo?
Okay, everybody, it's the Tonic on the red, and we've got the Jarate on the blue. And to start off on this red and blue mid of process, I'm seeing no major jumps. Nobody's going across the point straight away. That is how modern process is played. We're playing it very cool, calm, and collected. So expect a lot of kind of fake jumps, fake passes. Sosok is the first one to show their face, and there you go, punished immediately. How dare you go against the green? And Alien's going to back up his own buddy in that sort of aggression. Why not strike while the iron's hot? Everyone's brought so low over on the side of Tonic, but they have managed to just kind of keep themselves steer long enough to kind of get the crossbows in, try and push across. Although Spongy on the demo man does get taken out by the sheer pistol pressure of the Jarates, and now they're just trying to pick off what players kind of feed themselves forward. Coline might be feeding, manages to rotate around, will get picked off by Amarok, trying to hide away in water. This fight has gone on so long, Stephen. The Ubers have got involved at this point. Usually it's a lot more decisive. The respawners are coming in as well. They're actually finally going to back out over on Tonic to their second point.
Yeah, what a long mid-fight that was. It kind of looked good at the start. Sosok taken down early there by a good peel from Delhi. But then, yeah, as you said, that demo man just went down and just kind of allowed the scouts to have a bit of free roam. It looks like Sod wants to come in straight onto this demo man. Can he find the pick? It's straight onto Spongy. He's the first one to die again here on the Suijin Tonic. So we'll see if they can take a bit of space here on Jarate.
Yeah, no dome man in. That means pick a door, you're allowed to walk through it without the stresses of a sticky trap. And already Amarok and Sostok are making good graces of these sort of coordinated players from separate doorways. They're going to get this second point nice and tidy, and they're even going to get a bonus soldier kill to boot. So maybe they can send these soldiers forward, start pressuring out that last, and they have already. But they haven't got a sentry going to deal with. They've got a heavy weapons guy who's already laying in a kind defense for these wonderful Suijin players. And yeah, with them and the demo man down, Overdose is going to be going back to the respawn queue, and another opportunity for them push back on the second.
Yeah, they're trying to pressure in here still from the Suijin Tonic, sending some pressure up a lobby. Oh,
very close there, yeah.
Yeah, blimey. Yeah, I mean, on that push, I think the big issue there for the side of Jarate was just losing Sosok early. He kind of tried to go in deep, get some early pressure up into heaven, but there was already a heavy waiting for him. And by the time his team could back him up, it was just too late. And with even Ubers on the field, they decided, nah, back this up. It's not worth it. But now they're going to have much more of a defense to kind of have to try to deal with here. They should be set up at least a little bit more here. And yeah, they get an early pick on Amarok there, and that's going to cool things off.
Oh, could have gone a bit bad for a second there. I think Monkey backed off, and I think the soldiers were hoping to get a little bit of love in from that heal. But they do manage to keep themselves alive because they are playing very kind of reserved TF2, I would say, over on Jarate, just bringing everybody out of that lobby area as soon as one as falters. Not always the worst idea in the world, but they've got a level 2 sentry gun to deal with if they make this push into lasts. Eyes are on Amarok though. He's on the sniper class, so not really worried about that sentry.
Yeah, but now it's 3.5 minutes left. You're playing the sniper. This is when the slow game happens. If you get picked up on the sniper, that's another 30 seconds gone down, so you've got a lot of pressure. But who better than Amarok to really go for these shots here? He's kind of just trying to look through this four-door, catch a sniper out, and it's Deli going down. Can he find another one here? Are they going to rotate through 5 where they're going to have way more space now?
Oh, he rings out another headshot, but he is but a limited sniper. Can't get the insta-kill on these instantaneous headshots. So Amarok is going to rotate him around. Sometimes when you get that first pick, you get a bit more brave with your second choices. Not just because your life isn't really that, like, denial, or when you lose your life isn't that big of a deal. It's also, you start believing in your shots a bit more, but Amarok not really going hero play, just kind of playing it very passive, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of struggling to find a door that worked, hoping someone overextended, but it didn't work this time. Sosok went down, they instantly retreated on the front side. Hitting another headshot onto Coline, has to back out of lobby straight away, trying to make some early pressure. Might open up a little bit of space on 2 here. There is a demo man watching, so need to be careful there. That's a door you're probably not going to get through, unfortunately. We'll see what they want to do for the rest of this, though. All these players are back up, and it seems like this sniper is working for now, right? He's hitting the headshots, but he's just not finding those critical picks to allow his teammate to really get in and get a sack, basically.
Yeah, realistically, if you're a sniper, you're going to have to go for some of the big targets. That's the Zimmerman, that's maybe even the engineer in a rare sort of instance, but most importantly, the medic. But I think these picks on these scouts and soldiers just aren't really cutting it. And I think you can hit all the headshots in the world, but if they're not viable headshots, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these soldiers are doing such a good job of holding 4 and 5 as well, to be fair. On the side of the Suijin Tonic, they have got soldier picks, I think 3 lives in a row now, and it's just, made them have to back out here. But now we're kind of into Uber Trade territory, right? Just over a minute remaining. You're kind of thinking, when do we... Oh my god, he's just hitting everything. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
he's hitting everything,
them.
But the soldiers keep dying, though.
Yeah, and there's going to be, like you said, that really difficult trade they have to make, and trades aren't really the sniper's forte, as you're just kind of lacking the presence and the kind of proactiveness when you're playing this sniper class. It can work if you just manage to hit people in that sort of post-fight, but you're already down at, oh my goodness, someone really checked that man's computer. How the hell did he get that?
That was a crazy shot onto Mula, but once again, Sosok going down. They have found an angle.
Surely this man's getting brave now. He's going to try and headshot the sentry gun, but no, you can't insta-kill that, my friend. He's going to go down, and with 40 seconds left on the clock, sure, it looks good on the beta frag videos, but it doesn't look very good on the round counter.
You know what does look good? That Monkey did get forced during all that. They sent one player up through 1 into heaven, then had the demo man spam out through 4. The sentry gun didn't know where to look. They managed to get the force onto Monkey, so now it's 100% advantage, but not much time left here. They really need to get a wiggle on, and they are taking M through 4 straight onto the sentry gun. Finally goes down. That's most of the Uber out the way. They have a heavy up top. Demo man just spamming stickies. It's going to be so hard as the clock ticks down ever more slowly and fast. Oh, it is so close. 2 scouts onto the point. Can they find it? No, the rest of the red team is just collapsing. This is going to be a miracle, and unfortunately, it's not Christmas Day, because they are not able to get in. It looks like they might even want to go for the second point here on Suijin Tonic.
Yeah, the overtime does not immediately click off just because they have blocked it from the timer. They will have a bit of cap time, which actually enables the rest of Suijin to kind of push out and get the second point. This basically tells me that they're not really confident in their mid fight. They don't want to take this to another play mid fight, and they want to go with the advantage instead, going from second. So be interested to see if they can capitalize off this. Obviously they want to get in quite greedily, but they will be forced to use the Uber if need be. But I think many AEU player does not really like using that Uber on mid.
No, we seem to hate going in, and these two early picks coming in should be enough to secure it. They look like they want to stay at least a little bit here on the side of the Jarates, but no, they have to back out after losing Amarok here. And now this is where it's good though, right? They're basically coast to coasting. There's no one to really defend second. They already get aggressive onto last. They want to try to go for this demo man pick. Unable to this time. However, that Uber still about a 50% advantage. So if they want to use it here on the Suijin Tonics to go to last, they absolutely can.
Yeah, but they can't waste and dilly-dally. They do have a bit of Uber charge kind of being built by the rest of Jarate, and it might have it in time now for this defense on last. So the plan being here is they could cap off the point really quickly, or they can get such an advantageous body count at the start of this kind of Uber. But they've wasted too much time. They actually have it finally.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually thought it was still going to be Uber advantage.
Oh, the drop! The drop!
Oh!
Cibola has gone down from the jumping soldier of Delhi, I believe. So now they're trying to get proactive over on the rest of Jarate. Maybe they can make like a counter sack going in, but this is just desperate play, and they're feeding poor souls into the machine, and the machine is going to bite back soon.
Yeah, this is huge now. They look like they want to set up through one straight away. Just going to try to walk it in for free. There's no stickies up top there. They just need to kind of deal with these stickies on point, and they're going to go for that edge cap. There's a sniper. Manages to get the force out of the medic here. Now they need to go for the Sentrygon, dropping Mingo during all this. They weren't expecting the Sentry to be there, and it's taking so long to die. The Uber's faded. Cibola goes down once again there, so there's at least a silver lining towards this push, but they might want to just keep going here.
Everyone's so fragmented during this push. Everyone just seems to have their own idea of how this needs to go down, and nothing kills a fragmented team like a heavy weapons guy coming out of respawn. Amarok is going to call curtains to this final push, and yeah, to say they had so much kind of given to them for free, they had a weird timing pop with the Uber, then they ended up dropping somebody even in the midst of the Uber. And then finally, you had just a mixture of some people that were like resting up and some people still taking the fight. So that will be a mispush for the poor Suijin boys.
They do still have that 30% advantage though, because Cibola did go down during all of this, and they are building this hard, already looking to walk into lobby here. So I think they're going to try to go for this one once more.
Yeah, they couldn't quite get the trap overdose, had something cooking, but couldn't quite find a pick with that. So they're going to go in quite neat and tidy with this Uber. Sentrygon already nice and cleaned up. So Scouts already clearing the point of stickies, a lot of cap time, and even before the rest of those soldiers managed to come in and block it, it was a noble effort, but just not quick enough.
Sometimes that's all it takes, is just getting your scouts on the point with a little bit of distraction. No one able to come in and block it, and they take that first round on the Suijin Tonic. But they didn't make it look easy. They had some lucky opportunities with Cibola going down, I think. So it's been scrappy so far, but this is some of the best TF2, but take us away on this second mid-fight.
Well, they tried to throw in a soldier maybe a bit early, pressure overdose, but he was already behind the rock area, pushing for a right-hand side instead. Much harder to go for that early demo man pick, so just kind of backing off and playing to their strengths from before, which was just playing it calm, passive even, and then just letting the kills come to them. Actually, the kills are coming to them certainly, but they're going down. They try and bite back against all this aggression, see if they can get to that back line, but don't quite find it over on Suijin, and yeah, they're going to back off. Jarate actually take this mid.
Yeah, really solid there. They just kind of got caught in sewers a lot, it felt like, on the side of the Suijin Tonic. Couldn't really get out. Those soldiers tried to go in, find a pick onto Cibola, but were unable to. But both medics survive here, so they might want to go for some Uber trades here. Need to be careful. Lose Amarok during this.
No.
Just juggled around. They're losing so many players. Uber is forced out here, so should be a better Uber for the side of the Jarates. Need to get them a pick onto Delhi here, but I don't think they're going to be able to do anything else with just a demo man there.
Yeah, that was kind of weird to see a random scout pop out of IT just like that, blindside your demo. I liked what they were doing at first over on Suijin, kind of just holding their ground, realizing they don't need to pop onto a scout, aggressing onto their demo man, pick him off from there. But then when they lost the demo man, they kind of lost their control a bit, flustered, used the Uber, and then the trades came out. Fortunately, it was messy for both teams, and we're just having a little bit of a reset here. Now there's no Uber in all of this, and they're losing overdose to start off this. They get Alien Smile behind to kind of fragment and pull apart this team in two different directions, and now they're getting attacked from the front and the back, with only the soldiers left to kind of do some... Oh my god, they're cleaning up! These guys have turned into basketball players! They're passing and they're serving the players!
That was crazy from Cola, and just got so many great shots on the end there. Unfortunately, not enough to break the Amarok Sabola combo. So will be Jarate getting things. My God, those soldiers went absolutely crazy, clearing everyone else up here. Monkey went down super early in that fight, though. So it's now going to be switching around from what we saw last round. It's going to be Jarate's pushing into last with that full ad. We'll see if they can secure a quick evener.
So you've got stickies on point and you've got the sentry gun set up. It's very important those stickies get replaced as soon as possible. Once the Uber gets charged in, that's what happened to the poor team last time. And Spongy already on the case, but he chose the wrong door. He chose the aggressive door. That's where the rest of poor Jarate is going to be flying in from. And there you go. No demo man, no defense.
Yeah, super solid just in general there. Some really good edge cap time during all of that, and then a great flash by Sabola completely denied both those soldiers from getting onto his scout. And you know what could have been a really good defense from them, unfortunately, just crumbles to that single flash pretty much. And then they just cleaned it up. They get that demo man, no stickies, no recarpeting of the point, and they will evening up 1-1.
Okay, another couple of soldiers kind of turning up pretty fast, but Overdose again favoring that right side a lot more safe. Oh, a lot of damage being wrung out by Deli. He does actually take down the medic in said damage as well. So there's only one objective for the Monkey boys, and that's to defend Monkey.
Yeah, and they seem to be able to do that here. There's still an onslaught. There's a soldier behind as well here.
Monkey,
and also finding the kill. It does with the help of Amarok. There's a little bit of a pincer maneuver going on, and now we get a bit of a Scout MG fight. Who's going to win this one out here? Oh, but now there's a Spongy.
What MG have you been playing where the demo man is like hitting you in the back of the head?
Add one. Sometimes the demo man just appears.
Man, that's some cool gameplay. Well, it's time for another mid, as both medics were taken out of the fray. Alien Smiley and turns up and says hello to Spongy. He gets sent to the respawn. Deli missing a lot of rockets there, and they even throw in Coraline to kind of capitalize off the damage and space made by Deli, but fish out nothing here, Steven, and now they have to lick their wounds on second point.
Yeah, the second fight is going to go the way here of the Jarate. So are just going to be get second in for free. This is kind of how this works, but now it's going to be even Ubers going on to last. They are getting a sentry gun up, so there's going to be at least something to dissuade them here, but only having it level 1 should be pretty easy to spam down if they want to just start getting aggressive. But you always worry about a sniper being up when you're kind of pushing into this last, and I think that's what they'll be thinking while they're not going super aggressive.
Mingo, the brazen man, wants to move his sentry gun ahead straight away, and could have been a nightmare where you get picked off in that time that you happen to move the sentry or they happen to push in, but it doesn't happen this time. Sosok has gone down during all this, so it allows a little bit of playtime for maybe all these other members of the Jarate to maybe do something, but doesn't really find anything. They're going to get their soldier back, and let's see what they've got hooked up for coordinated play.
Yeah, they sent a little bit of pressure into one there, which nearly worked. Got a nice rocket onto the demo man. So if they want to go there again, I think there's actually a little bit more opportunity than I think they're really seeing now, or at least showing that they may want to go for it. Looks like they are just going to lobby pressure for now here. Maybe try to go for the sentry gun, maybe try to go for some high soldier bombs, deal with someone from 5. There's so many options, there's so many doors, so many options. And that's one of the great things about Process, but they're a little unsure right now.
Oh my God, they're just using the Uber straight into number 1, and well, objection 1 is to find the medic, but the medic's being protected by this sentry. Yeah, sure, they are spamming it down, but then she's just keeping it nice and healthy and alive, and Monkey is not even anywhere near pressured. He is going to keep onto his Uber charge, and that's ready to kind of push out into this second point. Alien trying to kind of be a pick. Oh, nice little air shots coming out. Still goes down though, Deli, and they just pop off Uber over on Monkey just to kind of solidify things on second and cool things down. Trap might have got somebody there, doesn't quite work out. Moolah is still going to successfully keep all the rest of Jarate out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to Uber here. They are still, only a slight disadvantage because that Uber push did just go so badly, and they had to use so early, and then tried to get that medic out. They weren't building well, so it's going to be difficult here. But we might see the side of Jarate try to go for an early pop here. Sometimes you see a demo double bombing, but no, it's like they actually want to try to take it in through sewers here.
Yeah, they're just trying to walk it in. They do have a trap laid down. Medic is going to dodge that, however, and they get in not completely free, only losing 1 down. So this just gives more credence for them to actually poke and prod over on the rest of Suijin. And Suijin throws in one soldier. They will likely lose that soldier now. He finds nothing, really, so this might be enough to dissuade the rest of Suijin from committing again. They're going to go back to last, but they've got no defenses set up right now. And yeah, with they didn't even have time to put Mingo onto an engineer. They switched him off to heavy instead to hopefully just do something in this last push. They pop off Uber now, but they respond with their own Uber. This last push is completely nullified with an Uber charge. There's no time of a cap point. They're actually committing Deli in big boy mode, but not finding any sort of little boys and girls to feast upon. Will back off over on Suijin.
It's really unfortunate because Alien got in through 5, went all the way up to heaven, had a lovely bomb onto Monkey there. Unfortunately, his own medic was also forced during that time. So yeah, as you were saying, Uber's pretty much nullified, unfortunately here. What do you think they need to do to try to break this last hold now that, you know, a sentry gun is going up on that point? It's a notoriously hard hold to break sometimes.
Well, I mean, first step, they could just take out the sentry gun just like they did there. If they're holding off, back off like that, but they've got the sentry gun forward, it makes it a prime target for moments like that. That's why you need your entire band of brothers to kind of battle around these doorways. The sentry gun, a fantastic plan B, not really a good plan A.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, that demo man just came to walk from free. Oh, what is going on, Amma? How does he die to those sticks?
He was trying to defuse the sticky bombs. It's the equivalent of finding a spider where you want to get rid of it, but you don't want to touch it, and he's like, and he goes down to the little spider. Soldier jumping in on top of Cibola, doesn't quite find 2 rockets.
Spy
Only
as
finds
well.
the 1.
Spy's in. He's going to get the backstab here. Can he find the force? Look for the sap. Gets a soldier in. Unfortunately, Sosok cannot find the rockets needed here. But even players, there's no chance they're going to push out here on the Suijin Tonic. I like that they tried to run the spy there, though.
Yeah, I think they obviously had Alien going in. I probably thought my team is going to be behind them, but they were actually busy dealing with a soldier jumping their back line, so no call in the play could really happen there. I mean, if you go for a pick like that onto Deli, just a little lonely soldier, and then go for the sap, usually you're begging for your team to kind of back you up in that.
Yeah, I mean, sort of came in there, but yeah, there was no sap on the sentry gun. I thought that pick on the soldier would just be better at the end of things. Alien now has changed from the spy up to the sniper here, so we'll see if he's somehow better than Amarok and can find some glorious pick, because that man was going crazy and they still struggled.
Yeah, and I mean, whilst I did like Amarok's sort of kind of gusto with hitting these snipes, I just don't think he was progressing those sort of kills good enough in my book. You know, go deep, go hard. Don't, you know, try and keep feasting on these lowly little pawns. You need to go for the big kills, and let's hopefully Alien is looking for that right now.
He's looking for the queen kill here. This is what they did last time. Got a player in through 2. Didn't work out this time for the Force, however. But they look like they've got some sort of game plan, right? Tried to get Sosok into heaven. It gives the sentry gun something else to shoot or something else to look at least. Then you can spam the medic from 2 angles, get your demo man through 4 or 5, get some rollers on the floor. Just kind of scares Monkey there, right? Those rollers, they still do like 30, 40 damage. Those add up very, very quickly, along with, you know, a splash rocket or 2 here. So they probably want to play Alien for a little bit longer, see if they can get something. But I think that's a good idea for the Force. And Sosok is looking at 2 this time, but doesn't look like he's going to commit.
Oh, he's looking at the demo man. Doesn't quite get it, though. And with a soldier down and 1 minute on the clock coming up, it's looking like that scenario that they had before, where they want to force something, just get the ball rolling whatsoever, just to kind of stop the round reset. But maybe they're happy with a round reset. They have been winning all the mids so far.
Yeah, it's definitely not the worst place to be. Amarok down, though. It's really, really bad. As you said, it's about a minute remaining on the clock time, and now it's kind of when you want to take a force. They've taken Alien back to spawn. He's on to soldier here. So now that this scout is down, it's now going to be close to the wire. You're going to be so rushed coming into these last pushes. They look like they want to go for this sentry gun early, sending 2 soldiers in through 2. However, they seize that and they get both of the soldiers here. This is absolutely awful here for Jarate now.
Yeah, I understand the philosophy behind this. They want to get 2 soldiers stacked up, spamming the gun at the same time, make it unrepairable to that onslaught of soldiers. You don't have to do this from the same spot, though. You can kind of coordinate it, but it's much easier to kind of bust through 1 door with 2 soldiers and time it like that than it is to do 2 sides. They just pop in the Uber. Amarok gets a 3 demo man kill to start off with, but the sentry gun is going to breathe down their necks and they have to get out. Unfortunately, Cibola does get himself out with the rest of his team. And Amarok, I don't know how he died, but he must have just been still fighting in all of this skirmish. The sentry gun doesn't quite reach over 2-1, and it is reaching over to the other side, though. I don't know why they tried to go for a multi-prong attack when the sentry gun's still alive, but hey ho, it's going to be a stalemate as a punishment.
Yeah, good reset here. I think this is kind of what they want. It is to reset this mid here. They have looked pretty strong, as you said beforehand. It's just so hard to get out of that last. Sometimes you get lucky, right? And we saw that coast to coast previously. They even turned into a round tip, but sometimes taking it back to this mid, taking that fight, if you feel like you've kind of got the advantage, if you're kind of bigger braining these mids, it's definitely the thing to do here. And we'll see how they want to play this.
Yeah, another rotation to both teams on the right-hand side, and they're going to play it passive again. Oh, Moolah goes down nice and early. That's a scout frag. That's pretty important. And they throw in Delhi as well. Sure, they lose their demo man, but after the initial couple of stickies and pipes launched off, that demo man's not quite as potent for the mid-game portion of that little mid-fight. And they extend their soldiers forward. They get the easy pick onto Monkey, and they get back out and heal up.
Yeah, amazing that both those soldiers lived there, but they managed to get a really good pin. So one soldier landed on point, one soldier landed in front. Who do you shoot? Oh, I'm dead. You don't really have anyone to shoot anymore in the respawn queue here. So that medic dying, full Uber advantage to the Jarates here. Can they have a bit more luck into this push here?
All right, they've got Mingo on sniper, so they should be aware or should be popping early if they want to dodge the possibility of any sort of drops or drop players, and they've got the sentry gun to deal with. So step one, take out the sentry gun, clear. Now the next step is to deal with Mingo or any of these players on the other side. They're trying to play the point instead. This does punish a team that doesn't get active on the point quickly enough, but they are pretty active, and these soldiers are doing a wonderful job of pressuring at the same time, coming in from the left while they have fires to butt out on the right. Those soldiers have won the point for them.
Yeah, Aiden did a super solid job there, just spamming from two, managing to get a pick onto a soldier, and then getting on that heavy and medic. They just don't know who to shoot at the end of things. There's so much pressure on that demo man and scout. You can't ask for a much more perfectly executed Uber. And now they are 2 rounds to 1. It's a nail biter of a game, however, and it's still anyone's to play for with 5 minutes remaining.
All right, another mid, another day on the Don. Spongy brought down pretty low, but does get the health pack, so it's like it never happened. Both soldiers getting proactive straight away into it, and they do take out the medic early and provide some room for the team to push across and fight against. That does mean, though, that they leave Monkey and Spongy to kind of fend for themselves, and a demo man fending for a medic, he can't fend for himself, so he's going to go down. And now you've got 2 soldiers sat behind. This is a little awkward, as you've got 2 scouts just kind of hide. Well, they did have the high ground. They're trying to cat the point instead. They're occupying the same space. They couldn't make this an easier job for the soldiers if they tried. But fortunately, Alien Smiley's going to beef a couple of shots and bring a sigh of relief to these scouts.
Yeah, he spawn camps the bowler there, though. He managed to get all the way into their spawn. Really good head play from him. Gets onto Sabola, and now he's going to get his team huge Uber advantage here.
Yeah, this is kind of a blessing in disguise with just all these little kind of skirmishes and things popping off at the same time. It's got to be very confusing, and it obviously catches out Sabola, the most vital person on this team at this point of the game. They will get the second point completely clean and tidy. No shenanigans are happening for the rest of Jarate. Jarate, they're in a unfamiliar place. They're back on last, and can they make the coast to coast happen to kind of give them another little cushion round, or is it going to be an even Steven job? Steven.
Yeah, someone has to go absolutely massive here for this Uber advantage not to come into play. Amarok is on the sniper though, and we have seen him do good things, but the Uber is straight out. That sniper's not going to be able to do anything with that sniper rifle to invulnerable players. They get some early capture on with both scouts. There's no one on the point.
Oh my god, you are capping us this time.
Oh, it's so close though. They just need to get one person on the point. They managed to bring it to a 2-2 here, Turbo, with only 3 minutes left.
I mean, they threw everybody and the kitchen sink at that point. They really didn't want to be capped out so quickly as they did that previous round, but in doing so, they made it pretty easy for these soldiers and Demoman to just shoot the same spot where all these players were happening. And yeah, there wasn't really much of a follow-up in the case of like a demo man or a heavy to kind of clean up these leftover players in the midst of things. It will be another round, it will be another mid, and this time Alien is the one that's jumping forward. He's going a bit more meta though. He's going to get more ground when he is going to get damage and players, and that's really annoying because he allows to just cut off the exit way for this team and also get a pick as well. Comes back in to commit to the fight, will get the pick onto Monkey as well. This is going to keep things a bit more simple for the rest of Jarate. They just need to keep Sabola alive, but there's 3 players not quite known where the location is going to be hunting for him. They're backed into a corner. Oh my goodness, the sticky coming out onto the corner. Surgical Spongy isn't even on the mid.
What an absolute snipe from Spongy. All the way from downtown that his own choke manages to get the medic there. It was assisted by Coline, got in very deep and got Sabola super low, and then was having to dodge and dive for so long against scouts ratting towards him. Safe, and then the sticky comes towards you. Really, really well played to kind of even things up a little bit here. They are still onto second, however, but things can change very quickly with just a 1 failed attempt.
All right, now keep in mind, for a period of where they were capping that point and was kind of standing off over on Jarate, they had their heals. There was an opportunity there, but they didn't quite sniff it over on Suijin and company. Mula's boys seem to really like the defensive play, or at least like this better safe than sorry play than any sort of aggression it looks like in this team.
Yeah, Ubers are coming up for both teams now, so we are going to start probably seeing some sacks. They're playing very far back on the Jarates, just kind of chilling a little bit, getting healthy now. Here's where we see them sack. It looks like they're going to start waddling their way into Suez. Probably going to do some pressure from Suez, send a soldier sack through. Is usually what we see. Alien, he's ready at choke here, but needs to be careful of these stickies. They actually sent another Alien in straight away. Didn't really manage to get much, but they've got a lot of space here. Amrock is just running around. So much space in IT here, Turbo.
Yeah, 3 players all brought down low over on Suijin. And oh god, they've managed to find and weasel out these picks in the low push, and this Uber's gone disastrously for the poor Jarate, I should say. And yeah, now they're coming out from the woodworks, out of the IT area and trying to make these flanks happen. Coline is on top of Sabola, going to clean up that frag, and oh my, it's a stalemate during all this. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have much time left there, so things were always going to get a little messy. They needed to make a play happen, really. And Sabola just kind of got a little overextended in that lower right area. The Uber then came out kind of over point. They kind of just traded sides of the map, and that's the end of things. It was, yeah, just a worse Uber there. But it didn't matter in the end because, yeah, we've gone to stalemate.
I know what you're thinking, you Americans that happen to get themselves lost and not watching the RGL finals or lower bracket finals right now. How come they didn't just switch to like the overtime mode and all that? We don't do that here in EU. We are sticking to a basic server time, and now we're going to go to a golden cap. This is a best of 3. We need a winner on this map, Stephen. And golden cap is a completely different to these sorts of comeback mechanics of NA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it kind of rests on that 1 15-minute round, right? We can always go to a golden mid, but we don't talk about that. But yeah, the golden cap, a lot of the time, the team who kind of plays defensively, I feel, wins a lot of the time. And the Jarate kids have looked super good playing those defensive mids. Even though we did see Sabola go down last mid, I think that was quite lucky that Spongy managed to waddle in and find that sticky snipe here. So if they can do a really good job on the Jarate kids, kind of keeping these mids going, they could be taking it, well, not home, but taking this first map and getting themselves an advantage to go into that grand finals.
I think what they have to hope or be happy about over on Suijin is their last defense is pretty mighty. It seems like they're really struggling to break it over on Jarate kids. So if they are losing these mids like they continue to do so, they always have that sort of defensive last that they can always kind of count on. Whilst yeah, it's more of a kind of a story for Suijin, for Jarate kid, to see if they can maybe bust that last.
Let's see if anything we have said comes true as we are rolling out onto this golden cap round of the first map of the lower bracket finals. Some aggressive soldier bombs to start things out.
Oh, Coline is bailed out by modern medic technology there. Will keep himself alive and available for his team, but that means this right-hand side scout is feeling the rough hate of it. Kind of out of sync with the rest of the team. They're picking off these soldiers with anti-air weaponry, and there's a chance to cut off this Downman from the from the sewer area. He tries to jump out desperately, but he's going to be brought down low. He's in the death corner. They're throwing it down. I can smell the beta frag video from here.
Wow, what an absolute slam dunk here from the Jarates. They came out kicking that mid. They did not leave a single card on the table. Really nice serve by Monkey to try to escape there, but it just wasn't enough. Got caught in by one here. There's a soldier trying to make a miracle play, but he's spotted out straight away. They're charioting this Uber straight in onto last here. Use it out, trying to find any picks they can early. They're going to play some cat time, get some good crush by these soldiers onto the left here. And now it's just a job of cleaning up, and losing that scout could be detrimental. The soldiers on the opposite side now doing so much.
There's only one heavy.
Yeah, can they just get healthy and go in?
Button? Yes, Amarok has pressed scoreboard. He knows there's only one heavy left. He goes onto the point. It's a quick golden cap. It's speedy, and it's belonging to the Jarate kids.
Really, really well played from them there. They looked so dominant on that golden cap mid from the Jarate kids. I think they kind of took that minute and a half or so. They had a little breath in. They're like, okay, guys, what's working for us? What's not? And they perfectly executed on it. But it was a close one there. Those soldiers were scary. They were getting a lot of damage, a lot of picks. But I think the collapse from the Jarate kids early on was just too much damage. And it was just followed up super, super well by Amarok there. Just managing to take down the heavy. He was just on a sliver of the health, the poor man.
Yeah, I think we lost our head a little bit over on Mueller's team, as they just kind of, when the chips are down, they started throwing more chips at the problem, and they were really feeding into that mid, when I think they should have took a page off their defensive book they played for the majority of the sort of game, was just to back out those players. Keep it safe, keep it simple.
Absolutely. We do have some logs here, if we would like to have a look, Mr. Turbo Tabs.
So paint a picture with your words. I have them open, I promise.
So my words are: Amarok went crazy. Just completely uncontested, obviously. I think definitely the scout with the most experience in this server. Kind of went super, super, super hard here. Did a really good job of looking after Sabola for the most part. And that's really reflected in the logs, to be honest. Only dying 12 times while playing a very aggressive pocket scout for the most part here. So super well played by him, but also reasonably good logs by Coline here. I didn't realize how crazy they were going, but yeah, 20 to 16 on process with nearly 300 damages. It's ridiculously respectable sometimes.
Yeah, I do like the fact that both of these medics have the same sort of deaths on both teams. That's usually a good marker to kind of figure out the power levels of both of these teams, whether or not one's kind of imbalanced or influxed or whatnot. But having them both kind of 8 apiece kind of tells me that these are two very even teams. And I mean, I saw a very even game earlier as well. The math is meeting with the eyes.
Yeah, I do like what you were saying about the medics having the same deaths. We don't always see that, right? We usually see in our games one medic dying significantly more, but actually a 3-2, a super close game, those medics dying the same feels really nice. And nice to see. Only one drop during all of this, actually. I didn't even realize that. Sabola just dropping once. And I think they actually took full advantage of that and coasted on the side of the Tonics here. So they're just playing really well. This is actually surprisingly good TF2 for a draft cup. I think this is what you get out of it, right? Is you get some scrappy TF2, you get some close games, and we're hoping this second map of Snakewater is just going to be as close, Turbo.
Yeah, it is. It is close TF2. I'm not sure if it's the best TF2 in the world. There are some slip-ups here and there. I am going to pull head teacher a little bit and say, like, some stuff shouldn't be happening. But, these are problems that usually players need to kind of overcome in their own little kind of mini arc of these best-of-3 formats, whether or not they can learn to fix these problems on the fly alongside their teams, or maybe even the teammates being able to identify these. Maybe this is where some of the experience kind of shines through and you help your boys out. And this could have been a problem that these players have been plagued with for months, and then it gets fixed in some silly little draft cup.
I'm sure, you know, the players like Alien are going to be really talking to their players here, saying, "Okay, guys, here's what wrong. Here's what we need to do," and they'll hopefully,
Is
yeah.
that the French accent they're peering through?
And hopefully they can fix those issues on the fly, as you did say. But I don't think we saw sort of a crazy amount of issues, to be honest. I think it was just a lot of really good pushes from the side of Suijin Tonic, where they take a lot of space for free. And I think maybe just a lack of spam sometimes have been the problem. Just pushing onto those mids in those seconds. I think the demo man really struggling to get value on both teams here. So if they can sort some of those out, I think we should be good. But as we are onto Snakewater here, completely different map here. Can be a lot more soldier heavy, especially onto these mids here. And I would expect big things from Alien. I think he had a bit of a quieter one. Was probably, you know, in that captain role a little more that game. Couldn't quite get much value process as he wanted, but I think he might start doing some crazy things here.
All right, Stephen. So obviously we know all the big names. We know a bit more about these teams as well now after watching that first map go towards Jarate Kid. Is there any sort of names that you've not seen before, but you've been watching the TF2 and you're kind of impressed? You know, you want to give them a mini shout out, maybe something to paste on top of their recruitment page for the next NTF2CL.
I mean, if Spongy can get, you know, a clip of his snipe, he's definitely got something to put in that recruitment post. I think that one sticky snipe could have turned the game, to be honest. I think it was no, they won, didn't they? Actually, I'm completely wrong. It did turn the tides then in the end, getting that lovely sticky snipe in the end of things. So, yeah, really, really good from him to find that. I think had a bit more of a strugglesome game for a lot of it, but hero moments are sometimes all that matters, and his last holds were also super solid.
Wait a minute, are these teams swapping sides? Are they like, yeah, I think they're changing colors. They're trying to keep us. I'm telling you, I told you, these draft cups are like casting on hard mode. Not only do you know none of these names, none of these players, none of their stories, none of the classes, but you also don't know which team they're going to stick with in the color scheme.
Trying to bamboozle you here. They're trying to make it as difficult as possible here. What about you? Do you have anyone from the Jarate case that stood out for you?
I like the cut of Coline's jib. Maybe I've not. It's not a completely blindsided name. I have seen this name around before, but it's very tempting to kind of like, oh guys, I'm in the same game with Amarok and Moolah. I don't want to do anything wrong, so they just don't do anything. But no, this kid is just like, yeah, get me in the mid. I'm in. I'm nuking. I've done damage. Team. So yeah, I like the attitude, to say the least. Now, as for the results, it's more like the meta is against these proactive soldiers over on. Oh god, I'm going to lose track now because they've switched sides. But yeah, over on I think it was on Suijin. So yeah, was Suijin kind of getting a bit active with these soldiers? Was it Jarate Kid? I forget. But still, they're getting active, and it will kind of bite them in the butt because it's process mid. The passivity kind of wins a little bit and kind of screwed them ever so lightly. But hey, maybe they can kind of do a turnaround moment for Suijin and the boys on this Snakewater.
I think I think Suijin was winning most of the mids, to be honest. But you are right about them being active. I think I think
I'm going back to
pull out the logs. Pull out the logs.
Jarate Kid won like 7 out of the 8. What kind of propaganda is this?
Okay, I'm as confused as you here. Well, I guess they did have great mids then throughout all of that.
Yeah, they were just. I think they were passive at first, but then there was like a couple of switches. Maybe it was just more like those times that they did go deep and strong. They were like a proper aggressive mid, whilst like Jarate just seemed to have a more balanced affair about things from where I stood. But now we're on Snakewater. This map is played no longer chunky anymore. It is quite thin. It's quite passive. Do you think this is just going to be another Jarate rollover on these mids and then a rollover into last?
I think there's a lot more you can do on this map. I think, yeah, you were saying chunky, which for any of the uninitiated here, it's just when you kind of go over one side of the point, so you send your entire team over the left side of the point or the right side of the point. Yeah, you are right, though. It's less used so now. I think a lot of the time we see, especially in higher level games, that a team will spam a lot. They'll try to find a pick early, try to find someone overextended, and then off that. a lot of the time we see double bombs, we see people go into the kitchen, we see people going behind. I think there's a lot of creativity you can do, and it's definitely how you react. Do you play proactive? Do you play reactive? Do you play passive and try to keep your med alive? Or do you kind of run over that point, hope that those soldiers land behind you and can't get onto your medic at all? There's just so much to play with in this map. At the process where it's basically, do you meet them? That's probably not a very good idea because they can spam you from high ground, or do you rotate? And yeah, that's kind of all we saw for the most part with those rotates. And then some aggression towards the end, but I think we're going to see some very, very different things on this Snake Water mid at least.
Well, speaking of Snake Water and not speaking of mid, we've got the kind of horror show of the last point. This is, I'm pretty sure my vibe checker is telling me that this last is the most hated one amongst the player base. Or am I wrong? Are you a fan of the last here, Stephen?
I love defending the last. I hate attacking the last. Yeah, the defense on the last is just so solid. Getting those two soldiers in those doorways just make things so hard. You can never even, you know, get a rocket onto that sentry, and then that medic feels so protected in the corner here. So yeah, I mean, we saw a stalemate on that process, and then a near stalemate where they decided to come out on the defending team here. So yeah, I think we might see that again, to be honest. I'm a little worried we are going to have a 5-minute snoozer on Snakewater last, unfortunately.
Yeah, it seems I've been watching a lot of American TF2 recently, not just because the RGL is happening at the same time, but because just generally. And it seems I've been watching a lot of teams kind of throw in 3-man, 4-man sort of death squads into this last point to just kind of get the game state into a different place. Do you think that's the best way to kind of tackle this as we go into it?
I think it's definitely something you can do, and sometimes you just need to throw everything into it, see what comes out, roll the dice, as to say. But we are going to be rolling the dice as we come onto this mid, and we'll see what they do. Is it a double bomb? Is it spam? Who knows?
Yep, it's the NTF2CL. It's TurboTabs and not Steven and Samus covering Suijin Tonic versus Jarate Kid, and already Suijin Tonic have started out strong here by getting the Demo Man, getting a scalp. Yeah, they lose the Demo Man, but that's not a big deal, as Suijin are going to run over the remaining players that have no heals. They're going to go for the last kind of jump Karate Kid style, and Jarate Kid don't actually get their sort of best around moment in their montage.
Yeah, Kurok has it behind here though, so got to be a bit careful of this here. This man went on an absolute tear last map, so could do the same now. Oh no, he just got back to his side. All getting confused by the team swapping sides as well.
Yep, Red Man is on red side and he is holding up into the red skies, and they're pushing from grass though. This green push, the green light to go, and they do throw in Deli. Deli tries to take the health back and kind of maybe still stay alive and get some room still bought for his team, but this has not worked out at all. They actually lose the Demo Man as well, and they're looking to strike back with a counter attack over on Jarate Kid.
Yeah, 2 of these projectile classes down just means they cannot stuff doors at all here on the side, the blue side here. So they back it on Jarate Kid. Yeah, it's so confusing.
No, sorry, I corrected myself as well. I have to keep flicking back between these two teams. It's, I know it might be, you know, for the Frenchies, like, of course, this team, this is the first time we've spotted these players in this lower bracket.
It's all very new to us here, but yeah, as I was saying, they just couldn't really get the spam to hold them back here. Decided to back out onto second here, so have conceded the mid onto the Jarate Kids, and there's a lot of pressure coming out onto this second take. Mingo down early here, and they got to be careful. Mula nearly falls here. Big soldier bombs coming in, and they're just sending so much spam in.
Oh no, Sock came around from the flank. Nobody was watching, and there was just rockets being rained on top of Monkey, and sadly, in all the sorts of affairs, still drop a few players during the chaos of that Uber being used. And now it's pretty simple for the Jarate Kids. Just kind of waltz into second, keep onto that Uber, and have it ready for this last.
Yeah, this style of just playing their medic super far back has been working out for them here, but they're not going to be able to keep him far back here as he's going to be forced to commit into last here. Luckily, he has an Uber to keep himself invulnerable. They do pop it through. Are going to be going straight onto this sentry gun in the right-hand spawn here. Not able to get that early cap time straight away. Do send a soldier to try to block things out here. Are going to find Sabola early, though. so that's going to be a bit more difficult as the defending players have a lot of time and a lot of players around the point here. And now they have a heavy, but it is scrappy here, and they're actually getting a couple kills on the Jarates to get the heavy here. The scouts have come in on the flank, and they managed to somehow magic up around.
I am fascinated. I think we could dissect and look over this last attack for ages and wonder how on earth it still happened, because they were so fragmented and so kind of like ADD over on Jarate Kid. It was not really a well pushed at all once together, but the defense was not anything to shout about either from Suijin, as they lost their medic and just kind of slowly bled from that point on without any heals.
Sometimes those are the best pushes when you lose your medic, though, just kind of getting in, focusing down those players from different angles. But we are onto a mid. Players going down from both teams here. No medics down, but there is a soldier trying to go in here.
Sabola.
I don't know. This man
crossbow to Mula keeps himself alive. Very nice here from the Jarate Kid. They're the best around. Have you heard?
I have not heard, but the fight is still going here. Alien is all the way in onto their second man. Just get spongy. They want to go in fast here. This will mean no sticks onto this last point.
Okay, that was pretty comedy. I saw Rock walk into this house, and from an outside perspective, I see a scout kicked out of the door. Again, from this scout 1v1 comedy in the finest places. Okay, so we got 100% Uber charge for Monkey and company, and we're going to make our way to mid. What defense have they got to deal with? Overdose has set up a sticky trap over onto the lower choke, whilst the choke on the sawmill side is kind of left a bit vacant. Now it'll be rotated around, and yeah, it doesn't even look like they want to get active here over on Suijin.
Yeah, I think they knew those Ubers were so close. I think Sabola didn't build as well as would do. But they're taking a trade straight into Saw here. This is very aggressive. They didn't want to have happen what happened last time, where they just kind of got force lost some players here. So just going to reset things out.
No,
the trap pick onto Amarok here.
Monkey! Oh my goodness. Thank goodness these scouts kind of shot off all those stickies before Monkey could have died to these traps, and Overdose was so distracted by Deli kind of staying in as well. He does die for the cause, but my god, his cause was important to keep. Monkey will stay alive, and now we're just building those Ubers again for both teams. Well, well, well. Both teams just kind of playing it cool. Nothing, nada, zilch, no snipers, no off-classes, not even a scout poking his head through the door, as we have about 80%, so they're going to humor a grass push, it seems, over on Jarate Kid. And the jump comes in from Deli. Not committing, though. He's just going to chill back for now. And AI's actually been spotted and found out. He's going to be pushed away. I think he got a bit of crossbow loving. And Alien Smiley, where did you come from? As they will react to him with an Uber charge. They clean him up, but Sosok is another part two to that soldier flank. He's hanging about lower. They pop off the Uber, but they take the scout. Oh, I say they take the scout taxi back. They get clipped by a Sosok soldier. And now they have to keep Sabola alive on the second point while they're capping it. With 2 players left on the squad, they're actually going to decide to back off over on Suijin.
They've been super good at kind of finding those spams from all different angles so far on the Jarate Kids, especially coming into this second here. They are going to gather themselves an advantage. So we saw them kind of push that right side and lose their med a little early. I think if that kind of happens again, it might be a bit of a failed push, as they are set up a little more this time. They are going to at least have a sentry gun and Mula up on Sniper, so that's going to force that early pop coming in. But setting up on this right lead, they're on 90% Uber. Surely the push is coming out any second.
All right, what flavor of Uber are we going for? Is it going to be a soldier? It's a scout. Scout going in, popping in early. Demo man jumping in. We're already on the left-hand side. They kind of keep it simple with that sentry gun on the left-hand side and the players on the left-hand side. There's only one place to nuke. And my god, is it a nuke? Everyone comes out kind of punching over on Jarate Kid. And with only one player left, and that's the medic, this round is over. It's a second round for Jarate Kid.
Yeah, very convincing last push. The soldiers really came into their element on that last push. It came in a lot of damage, followed up by the demo man, the scout. It's just a really, really classic last push. And yeah, nearly to perfection, to be fair there. Amarok taking a lot of that beam, getting the sentry down early with his demo man. But we are onto a third mid now. we kind of need the Suijin Tonic to try to get back into this game a little bit. Can they take a mid?
All right, it's another dawn, it's another day. Can they deal with the soldiers from this Jarate way? And yeah, it looks like they'll jump in. Alien Smiley doesn't quite find anything. Will go in instead now. No faking here as he gets some ground given behind him. That's going to give a bit of a headache because he does a nice little kind of swift turnaround, does a wraparound, gets a jump onto them as well. He's actually going to claim another health pack, I think. Oh, actually claims a corner and a health pack. Even cuts off poor Medic and Demo. Monkey and Spongy going down, and a lot of work put out by Alien Smiley throughout all of that, and it was made simple for the front line. They had too much on their plate.
Yeah, looking really nice at the start there. I mean, Jarate took a lot of space early on, which made it a little bit scary. They were playing quite passive on the side of the Suijin Tonic, but then I was like, surely they got that nice pick onto the Jarate's demo man of Overdose. I was like, okay, this might be how things change, but no, they just have so much pure damage, so much pure DM here, and just carting Amarok over and doing such a good job of keeping Sabola alive. They will now have a third attempt to make it 3-0 here for the Jarate kids.
All right, they got the sentry gun built on the left-hand side this time, no right-hand side, so they aren't going to make it easy for the rest of Jarate as they pop in the Uber. They already got Overdose straight in, right on top of the engineer. Manages to weasel his way out into that last spawn, and he's already switching off to Heavy. He's coming out to the side that they're not paying attention to, so this Heavy could do a lot of work here from this left-hand side, but his team's not really jumping in and supporting him at the same time. They're just hoping that maybe this Heavy is going to be enough pressure in of itself. No real aggression. They just want to keep it very safe, very not sorry here for Suijin Tonic, and yeah, it has worked out, fortunately.
Yeah, now it's the Uber advantage for the Suijin Tonic here, so if they want to, they can push out, and they are pressuring into this lobby here, getting a lot of pressure onto Sword. Deli's up in high. He manages to find Overdose there.
Yeah, Alien gonna get caught out in lobby, trying to go for the Spongy kill. Doesn't quite work out, and they even get the Overdose kill right in early, who was looking at a trap. A Scout Dodo is gonna go down as a don't as they are continuing the push. 100% Uber, but no players kind of left to kind of use on the other opposing side of Jarate here. Deli is in as well. A coin spent for the Angry Machine to force this Uber charge out of Sabola. They're going to pop off now. They're actually trying to back out completely. Mueller's committed in though. I would kind of wonder why not just use the Uber charge, get proactive at this point. But no, they want to deal with Sosnock, who's got behind and gets the drop onto Monkey. What a tight turner for the Jarate kid to kind of come back into this round, and Mingo is going to get desperate, and it is not going to work. He will go down, and they have the second point kind of neat and tidy. Overdose did go down during all of that fray, but with the heals they could maybe make a case to kind of pushing and pressuring this last.
Yeah, they have such a huge Uber advantage here. They could easily take this going on to last there. It was really unfortunate that Mula did get caught out there. It kind of looked like it was going to be a bit of a trade. Deli went in deep, and then you're hoping, oh, you get about 30% advantage. You can maybe come back in, take a better trade. But no, unfortunately, drops in. They decide, okay, we'll go back to second here. We'll try to reset here. And then Sosok comes in, gets that crucial drop here. They are building this Uber super fast, already on 70%, so might be able to get this before they even push in on last from the Jarate kids.
Yeah, they had a sniper at the door, but they pop off immediately over on Jarate kid. They clean up the sentry gun, but what do they do now? They've not been really as strong at like dealing the initial blob straight after. They pop off the Uber as well to make things extra safe over on Suijin Tonic, and yeah, with 3 players down and an Uber defending last, they only have to worry about a back cap, but they've got everyone pushing out separate areas, checking the areas correctly, and yeah, they completely give it up over on Jarate kid.
Yeah, they kind of have to there. There's no really staying in during all of that, unfortunately. But managed to get second, so a little bit better than last here. There's a lot of opportunities that we've seen Jarate playing quite aggressively, and if they can kind of get some of those picks in, it could be really, really good. They send a soldier in.
Oh, Sabola. They had only one scout looking after that medic, and he's going to go down now, but hopefully maybe with enough combat classes thrown into the mix, they can just kill Monkey in the aftermath of it all. And yeah, there we go. Too many classes with guns to actually fight and defend with. It hurts the soul, but sometimes going for that medic early costs too much for your team.
Yeah, I mean, Monkey did such a good job of escaping that initial bomb there. I thought maybe they win, but as you said, there were just too many people with guns, too much damage coming out, and they were just kind of trading the kills so well on the Jarate kids here. Both medics did die during all of this, however, so we are going back to pretty much even Ubers onto this last. If they want to push it very quickly on the Jarate kids, they could do something because they've been building extremely well here, but it's going to always be a very difficult push. They've maybe been struggling with this sentry gun on left side, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen here. They're going to build it on that classic right-hand side for attackers, left-hand side for defenders here. They've been kind of dealing with this a bit better than the other one, but we'll see how it works out because they go for a completely different push this time, anticipating maybe the sentry gun to be on that side. There's no one who can really spam it. You can maybe get some damage from drop down, but that sentry gun's still living. Their only option was really to go for cat time, but the Uber comes out straight away on Suijin Tonic here. Can they find any kills? It doesn't look like they can. It may now be a great opportunity for a repush from the side of the Jarate kids if they want to go for it.
Yeah, they pop off Uber on Monkey, and I'm not sure if they even really need to use the Uber in that sort of situation. They kind of used the Uber pretty early on Jarate. They had that sentry gun to kind of keep the medics safe during all that. Yeah, it was being spammed by all these soldiers, and maybe all the spam caught a bit of Monkey on that side, but I think it would have been better just to hold on there and just stay in the safety net of your sentry gun.
Yeah, maybe. I think they maybe wanted to greed for those kills just a little bit to see what they could really get out of things. It does look like Coline took out of Spawn on that spy. But,
oh no, well this is awkward. Coline is going to have to try and go for a pick, but he's one less player on this poor squad to actually get active with this team. And with 2 players already down, he does get a stab onto Amarok, so maybe this might work. And Sostok backstabs the spy with a soldier class. Monkey thrown in the air, does not crater, so their medic is alive, and over on Jarate Kid they are not, so maybe they have hope to push out here.
That was super scary because they lost 2 players super early on the Suijin Tonic as well there. So getting that backstab onto Amarok and making sure they couldn't keep snowballing, with the scouts afterwards was actually probably ridiculously crucial. So nice for Coline to hit that kill. However, could you have got it on Soldier? I think so. It was a bit risky, but maybe they weren't expecting the Jarate kids to try to play on such a small advantage.
Yeah, and Snakewater's going to Snakewater. It's hard to push out, so they just back out instead, keep it safe, keep it kosher, as you've got 2 minutes left to a round reset, so this is probably their way back into the game. But with 2 rounds left, maybe time isn't on your side if you keep spending it like this.
Yeah, maybe not, but there's still a little bit of time left on the clock, still about 50 minutes, so we're only halfway through. And these rounds, can take 2 minutes sometimes. Right, if you go all the way and manage that full Uber advantage, they won't be too worried here. It is now going to be, I think, one of the first times we've seen them try to push onto this last with even Ubers here, but Amarok spots an early position to try to get in through that left while Alien tries to go for something through drop down. Not able to get anything from either of these stacking soldiers. That was an unfortunate jump straight into Amarok's clutches here. And now things should slow down. Are we going to see Alien come up on an off class though?
I mean, all in likelihood. The problem is they've only got a minute left, so it needs to be something quite decisive. There we go. That's decisive. All right. A spy is going to come up from Alien, and fortunately, during a draft cup, I don't think the fundamentals of last are being kept close to the chests of Suijin Tonic. So no spy class checking, I'm afraid. Alien and Smiley should have the jump on them. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. We'll see what he wants to go for. A lot of the time, they'll go for a sap and sack.
He's crawling, though. He's got the cloak and dagger, I assume. And, yeah, this is a long affair, crawling all the way to victory. You've only got 40 seconds left, Alien. Tick-tock, my brother.
Yeah, these seconds matter as well. He looks like he's ready to go for this decloak, though. Waiting for his players to get into position. A soldier is through. Surely this is going to be the calling. For him to try to go for something, he's making it so long.
I mean, they get the sentry gun out, so that doesn't have to be worried. They go for Monkey, they get the stab onto Monkey. This has worked out, but now they just have to Uber in. But they have not many a player to fight with, I'm afraid. And the level 1 sentry gun has actually come back up. Well, I said it come back up. It disappeared in front of his eyes, but like it was enough for him to kind of absorb all of that Uber charge from that singular scout, and that singular scout was all they had for the push.
Really unfortunate. Dodo just not able to do enough here. And it looks like this round should be resetting here. The Jarate's not able to make it a third one, and now the Suijin Tonic taking it back to mid, hoping to turn the tide here a little bit and see if they can finally win one out. I think it has been, 3-0 to the Jarate kids on mid so far.
Okay, well, I mean, there's time to change this around. Another mid, another dawn, as 11 minutes have finally kind of showed itself on the face of the timer. Overdose, Spongy starting out, no one initially getting tagged at the start of this mid, and they throw in Deli for a fake jump, and oh god, they lose scouts very early, and soldiers too, over on poor Suijin, and they're trying to back out. Scout taxi out. Monkey cut off by a soldier, getting on top of his head. Alien will get the kill onto him, and he might even survive.
Yeah, really, really good stuff here from the Jarate kids. Now we'll see what they can do. Taking this to last, they've already got aggression straight onto this last over this left-hand side. Going to be trapping a spawn before they even have the second point. How cheeky.
They're spamming what I assume has to be the sentry gun as well over on the other side. The soldier dumping in, Deli getting a strong position, pop off the Uber very late, and they've ushered them. Oh my god, Alien threads the needle, finds Mr. Mingo. They even have a scout bullying these other players that have rotated to the side. It's just Mula left and a picnic on this last point. It's 3-0. Is it 5-0 in their hearts though, Stephen?
I think it might be if they keep going in this direction here. It just feels like they have absolutely no answer on these mids. They're trying to get some aggression. They're trying to get some fakes. They're trying to just kind of play it proactively. This is how they're liking playing on Suijin Tonic, but they're doing such a good job of countering on the Jarates. They're really peeling for those players. They're seeing those players overextend, and they're getting really good focus fire. And I think if they keep doing this, they could be well on their way to making this a quick 5-0, only the third of this entire tournament.
All right, Deli keeping it chill. Alien Smiley, he's been feeling pretty good on these mids. He's going to pull a fake for starting off, and look at them right on top of Deli. The first sign of aggression, they're going to jump on it like hungry wolves, and Bula, he must be getting a bit tilted because that's kind of just a wild sort of run across as a scout into the enemy team. Coline makes it easy, goes down into their own grass and makes the Delta split past his team, and well, Monkey does manage to... Oh, have I spoke too soon? Caster's curse? No cursing today. Monkey will keep himself alive. Has that Uber charge for his team at last. And I say they're at last. They have the second point still.
Drop.
Oh no!
The pipe finds him. That's Monkey dropping for a second time this map. And yeah, they wanted to go aggressive into lobby, but they just can't do that anymore.
They're in.
And now
they're
might
going
try
to
go
last
in.
already. They're chasing Coline. Coline's banging his head on top of the steel crate. Mulu is going desperation. Pyro immediately gets killed by the scout class. Sentry gun not built in time, basically. Will go down. Deli gets farmed as well. They don't even want the last point. They want blood.
I think this team is just a team of sharks because they are smelling blood in the water. They are going absolutely feral for it here. Mula even calling the GGs out. Yeah, I think you might be right about this man being a little bit tilted. He's not happy with how this second map has gone here. So it's not looking great. Already a 4-0 and they look so dominant. It's still time to bring it back theoretically if they keep their head in this game. But I think they might have lost it. I think that it's all over.
Expect the soldiers to be jumping out. Expect people to get aggressive. They want decisive action. They start off with a scout kill over on the Suijin, but when pushing across, they even send their medic across as well. It's just too easy if their medic is brought into such aggressive lands like such. And I mean, whilst the proactiveness does net them a Cibola kill, this is their best mid by far. It's very hard to pull off the clean sweep in all this and not get any casualties.
Yeah, but it's the worst thing in the world, Cibola going down. It's gonna be difficult to get out of this second either way because they are already so set up on the Jarate kid. There's a lot of pressure coming from Cheese here as well.
Okay, well, soldiers, okay, everyone is just having a good sort of clown car of a time. It's comedy, it's carnival, it's fiesta over on the connector. Not even the point, the connector with these two teams. They just want to find each other, not find the point.
And now they're already trying to take this into last here, taking over this left-hand side. It was really good from this last time. Demo Man maybe quite out of spawn.
Oh no, Spongy.
Inside of spawn, he gets caught, doesn't hit the respawn vine fast enough here. And now it's looking really good. No Demo Man, no stickies on the point. If they can clear up these last stragglers, it's going to be really good. Isaac going down, though, is going to make things a little bit harder.
Oh, a lot of point
nice
pressure.
snipe.
Yeah, a lot of point pressure, but oh my god, Coline digging deep. I've got belief, but I have not got the power. They use the Uber charge. They forgot about that one, but the Demo Man is back. He can nut this soldier off the point out of the Uber charge. Sabola's taunting. They know, they feel like this game is over still, but they are defending technically on this last.
Yeah, they made it close there, though. It was a struggle of a defense, but as you said, Coline hitting some nice rockets, and now they want to try to push in onto second here. They're still wanting to go. And
no, the drop on the monkey, the synced up rocket between Alien Smiley. He comes like a meteor out of the sky and buries that poor medic into the ground. And with ×2 cap, sure, they win the battle, but I don't think they're going to win this war.
It's just Amarok versus the world here. He's just playing a DM server at this point, going here, there, and everywhere. Coline is up to try to defend this, but they are just basically nowhere in sight as Jarate actually took them down in the backline. Yeah, it's a 5-0.
Oh my god, if you wanted to answer your question of like what's the stronger drink, Suijin Tonic or Jarate, I think Jarate is the much stronger drink in this. And yeah, the Karate Kid boys are going to sail away with this best of 3. It's convincing. And well, Stephen, what is there to be said about a convincing best of 3 like this?
I mean, you say convincing, but that first map, super close, going to Golden Cap, and I think this was just kind of their map. They were feeling themselves on Jarate. They had the mids down. I mean, they had some amazing plays from pretty much everyone and some really unfortunate drops onto Monkey, and I think it could have been a lot closer had they kind of had a bit more of an idea. Maybe they just haven't actually had to play much of Snakewater here on the side of Suijin Tonic and just unprepared. You know, it was good games overall.
All right, I'm trying to get to the logs, but all you guys were, parsing all those logs and using the API, spamming it for all your random sites. Ooh, I'm loading slowly. So in the meantime, is there anybody that kind of caught your eye, outside of the logs, outside of the map, who just felt in your gut was just doing some work here, Stephen?
I feel like Sosok was kind of my MVP of that map. We didn't see him turn up too much on process. It's kind of felt like the cannon fodder soldier sometimes, but on this map he felt super solid. I think he may have got 2 of those free drops onto Monkey, Alien getting that last one with the sync bomb, but he was doing such a good job of assisting, finding himself on high ground, finding himself in annoying positions. On those last pushes, he was taking the flank super aggressively and managing to find a lot of value out of that. So yeah, I think Sosok had a super good game, especially with his positioning and how he played around Alien Smiley as well was super solid. So yeah, that would be who caught my eye in that game for the most part.
Well, now I have the benefit of actually looking at the logs and kind of using this as reference material. My god, Amarok is convincing on this scout. This tally up the points. I think he might be getting more kills than maybe the blue team combined. He's got 36 kills. This man has a kill assist death ratio of 10. It's double digits.
It's actually disgusting. Yeah, I mean, he played absolutely crazy that map. I think he's really playing well with Fabola. I think these, as a combo, play super well. Obviously, Amarok, ridiculously experienced. And guys, I think you should maybe up his price a little bit next year. But
yeah, there's a market crash happening right now. If you've got Amarok, buy.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever played like the sports fantasy games, but after each week the prices go up. He's at least doubling in price for next year. But he kind of needs to perform right for this team to do well. I feel like he's kind of that carry where if he's doing well, his team's doing well. But what if he does bad? What if he finds his scout matchup? What if he starts overextending and has a bad game? Can they really make it happen in that grand finals that they will be playing in about an hour's time?
Yeah, you're right. They're going to be playing off into the Gully team, and God, I think it's Gully Vitches. Anyway, the Gully Wash team versus the Jarate kids will be your grand finalists. And you're right. Are they going to meet more of their match? Because obviously the Gully team is the one that's come out a bit stronger in that upper bracket. They have not lost a match yet. So it'll be interesting to see. And this is going to be very hallowing and very nice for Jarate Kid because they actually lost to Suijin Tonic earlier in the tournament, believe it or not, Stephen.
They were the team that pushed them down all the way into the lower bracket there, a close 3-2 as well. So, yeah, I mean, victory must feel great. They should be really happy with that result there.
I wonder if this is going to turn into a Cinderella story rather than the Karate Kid. But I won't be the one to kind of close that chapter. However, I am going to bid you adieu. Stephen won't bid you adieu. There, you'll see him in the grand final, and maybe you'll see Samus as well. I'm not sure. I don't think you're in the final, are you, Samus? No, shaking their head. No. Okay, all right. So yeah. Obviously, tune in soon. We're going to have that grand final. It's come to this penultimate game. I'm invested at this point. So I hope you guys are invested too. We'll see you guys real soon.